Let's get real. I'm going to start off tonight by speaking to you about a woman that I saw a few hours ago who's been on the program in the Boynton Beach office and just returned from Las Vegas. She'd been doing the program well, went to Las Vegas, came back, and said to me, Dr. Schwartz, I put on a pound and a half. Typical answer for me, especially from women. To begin with, this woman was in Las Vegas for an entire week. She did whatever she did, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But she only, in my mind, put on a pound and a half. Now, if you can tell me what a pound and a half is, I'll be very happy. A pound and a half is nothing. What I want you to see is this woman followed our vacation protocol. She went to Las Vegas, returned from Las Vegas, basically stayed the same and enjoyed herself, but the guilt is there. And it's time we spoke the truth. So here's my truth for today. It is your fault. The only reason you are overweight is because you have not made yourself important enough for you to be taken care of. We've been through much of this before. How food is introduced into our lives within the first few hours of life. It satisfies us, it comforts us, and that picture and image is inside our head. And that's wonderful. But here we are talking about weight loss, and all I hear is how hard and difficult it is. Not accurate weight loss, but how hard and difficult it is to take care of myself. You get up in the morning with you. And if you get up in the morning with a you who is not being taken care of by you, then you're getting up with someone whom you can't escape and whom you're unhappy with. And if we boil it down, you're unhappy with yourself. And why? The reasons are really irrelevant. And the reason I say they're irrelevant, if we really want to deal with the reasons, I think we should all go into therapy. Once we go into therapy, we will learn all of the triggers. We will learn all of the situations and circumstances that brought us to today. And we will know what it is that's going on. I'm coming from a different place. What I'm saying is, you're here. You want to lose weight. Now let's stop. You said, I want to lose weight. So let's start with question number 1. What is going on inside your head that says, I want to lose? Now, this is important. You're not responsible to answer to anyone else but yourself. So what are you going to get out of it? What is your goal? And don't tell me my goal is to lose weight. That's obvious and it's a deflection. Why do you want to lose weight? And don't justify it. You have every right, because you are talking about yourself, to do what you want to do for you. You also have the ability not to do for you the things that are good for you. New Year's is now past. We're into 22. Here you are listening to me, and I've said it's your fault. And the reason it's your fault is your behavior. Now let's be very clear. Whatever it is that you've done to become overweight, you're responsible for. Now, you want to go into therapy and understand? Be my guest. Right now, I want to take the shortcut. And here's the shortcut. Weight loss. Weight loss doesn't care why you did whatever it is you in the past to bring you to where you are today. And here you are today working with me because you're not happy about having to be overweight. So number one, why are you doing it? And don't justify it. Say it. I don't care what it is. Say what it is that the reason you want to lose weight. Number one. Number two, and this is important. Can you lose weight without change? In other words, if you continue to do what you've been doing, will you achieve your goal, which is to lose weight? Well, I'm going to overstep myself and answer for you. If you're not ready to change, then you're not going to succeed. Now, this is very, very tricky. None of us want to change. And the reason none of us want to change is because we feel safe and comfortable, not happy. I didn't say happy. We feel safe and comfortable with how we behave. And if we continue to behave the way we have been behaving, we're not going to achieve our goal of losing weight. So number one, commit yourself to change and go a step further. Understand that if you commit to change, it's going to make you uncomfortable. Now, are you worth changing and experiencing the fact that when you change, you're going to feel uncomfortable? Now, if you cannot say yes, then I think you should go to therapy. Why? I don't know about you. I'm the most important person in my world. You're the most important person in your world. I get up every single morning, and if I look in the mirror, I see a guy who looks just like me. And I get up with him every single morning. And if I get up and I look in the mirror and I see me in the mirror and I'm not happy about the guy I see in the mirror, then I'm living with someone whom I shouldn't be living with. Why would I want to live with someone who makes me uncomfortable? Now, let's understand. I'm not perfect, and you're not perfect. All of us have grown up in situations and circumstances that affect us. All of us are pressured by the outside world. Simple thing, the woman I was just talking about. She said to me that in the evening, because she made the evening her big meal, she indulged, and she said, it was very hard for me, but I heard you in my head. You said this is vacation. You said if I did it the way we had agreed to do it, everything would be fine. And I indulged. But I felt guilty. Tell me what you mean when you felt guilty. Well, I felt bad that I was eating what I shouldn't eat. And I said, hold it. You told me you were on vacation. We had created a plan for you. In that plan, you agreed that you were going to have dinner. Part of dinner was dessert. You had dessert. And let's jump ahead and then come back. And when you walked into my office today, you had put on, after a week of vacation, only 1.5 pounds. On vacation in a wonderland like Las Vegas. And you felt guilty. Now, if you felt guilty, you did something bad. And this is why I say you either deal with it in the real kind of way today, and let's move on and do this in an open and an honest way with ourselves. And that's why I'm talking to you this way. It is your fault. The past is not your fault. It's done already. There is nothing you can do to change the past. You can understand it. We can learn from it. All those are wonderful things. But right now you want to lose weight. So step number 1, give me a reason. Give you a reason and write it down. I want to lose weight because. This is important. Don't get into the process of justifying it. You have every right to say, I want to lose weight. Now, you need the answer for you. Remember, we agreed you would have to change, whatever that means. So, losing weight is going to make you uncomfortable. Now, if losing weight is going to make you uncomfortable because you're committed to change, let's go to the next question. If you're puzzled, what makes you feel guilty about saying, this is what I want? Now, I want to be very clear. If we had a problem with drugs, I could take drugs out of your life and you would survive. If we said alcohol, alcohol out of your life and you would survive. I cannot take food out of your life. And therefore, you have no choice. You have to have food. But let's get rid of this nonsensical guilt that we've built up into us because we have not made ourselves important enough in our own lives to take care of ourselves the way we deserve to be taken care of. There is no one who can take better care of you than you. I did not say there should not be other people in your life. I said you're responsible for you. I'm responsible for me and how I treat me. And this is one of the other things that I see all the time. I take care of me, and I don't handle the realization that the criticism I make of myself and the misery that I cause myself, I'm responsible for. Because tell me anytime, criticism, self-criticism, and guilt has made you happy. Has it worked? All it does is repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. Now, I know most of you know I was a licensed psychologist in a past life. The reason I gave it up is irrelevant. I do AccuWeight loss now, and the issues that occurred in my life in growing up and bringing me to this point in time are unchangeable. I cannot change the past. You cannot change the past. But you don't need any longer to obey it. Be subject to it. Now, let's start. If I'm not perfect and you're not perfect, then both of us are flawed. We look around and we see people that we admire, that people we like. We have all kinds of thoughts. And we sometimes say, maybe more though than others, I wish I were like them. I wish I could live like them. Now, truth number one, you haven't got the foggiest idea what package they carry around with them. Sorry to get personal, but I was in the process of considering solar for my house. And I had a solar person come in. They were terrific. They were professional. And then they said, if you sign within the next 24 hours, I'll do this and this and this and this and this for you. But you only have 24 hours to do it. They left. And first I thought, and then I heard of all the things that they were promising me. And I realized something. They were nice. They were professional. They don't know me. They don't care about me because I'm not part of their lives. They have a job to do. And the bonuses, they're real. But they're a trick to cause me to make a decision without thinking, because I wanted to believe that they were my friends or whatever. They're good people. Maybe they're not, but basically they're good people out there trying to earn a living. And they want my money, which they get part of, they get paid. And so they give me bonuses. And the bonuses are distractions. So the question is, why do you want to lose weight? And the reason you give should be because you want it for you. And you agree that you have to change. And you agree that change is going to be uncomfortable. But now I want you to go a step further. How is it going to feel when you achieve your goal? Why the heck are you doing this? Say the heck with it, forget about your weight and go on. You're the one who decided that you want to lose weight. You have every right to decide that. Stop, think, what do you want? Why do you want to lose weight? What's it going to do for you? Why are you going to put up with the discomfort of change? You can't stay the same. Why are you going to put up with the discomfort of change and not get some benefit that's going to make you say it's worth it? And that's the key. It should be worth it to you. Now, when I spoke to the woman from Las Vegas, I said to her, how does it feel that you went away for a week? You had, from what you're telling me, a marvelous time, and I'm going to put it my way, not your way. You practically stayed the same and had a great time. Were you worth it? Was it worth it? And I had an interesting answer. She said, at the moment that I was doing it, it wasn't worth it. It's worth it now that I'm back, but it wasn't worth it while I'm doing it. I then said to her, then why did you do it? And I couldn't get a clear answer. It wasn't thought through. What came through, and she realized it in our conversation, is that she had taken control of her life in Las Vegas. She had done what she had planned to do before she left for vacation, how she was going to live. She followed through. She accepted the changes that she would have to make. She stood up for her plan. And you and I both know, without any question at all, any week, that you're plus or minus 1.5 pounds, nothing happened. You stayed the same. And she had a marvelous time and stayed the same, because by planning and making herself important enough to follow through on a plan that she had agreed to and dealt with the discomfort. And that's a very important thing. She dealt with the discomfort of the change. Now, Weight Loss has been around for over 1,000 years. And as you know, Dr. Chu trained me. So I learned from Dr. Chu after I had been a licensed psychologist for over 50 years. I have been doing AccuWeight loss for 25 years. You're here because you know that doing the program the way it's prescribed, it works. So let's know what we know. The program works. Then what makes it so difficult? What makes it difficult is being unable to recognize that we hold on to old habits because they make us safe, they make us comfortable, we rationalize about them, and we connect with the images that are in the back of our head. All of us have had exactly the same experience. We were born. And when we were born, we went from 100% being taken care of to 0. Our mothers had done everything for us. There was nothing that we did for ourselves. And when we were born, on some level, this entity, this infant that you were, sensed, whatever that means, that you were on your own. Now, if you can tell me that's not scary, I think it's pretty scary. They washed you, they wrapped you, they took you away. Your mother was exhausted. She took a nap, and then they brought you back. And she nursed you by either giving you a bottle or a breast. And it felt warm and comfortable and wonderful and safe. So within the first few hours of your life, you were both traumatized and some image inside your head was created. Food, comfort. Food, comfort. And then the second piece. I don't know how many of you have had this experience, but babies learn almost from the moment of birth that when they cry, they control us. They get our attention, we feed them, whatever. And whether you've experienced it or not, ask around if you haven't had the experience. For the first few months, 6, 7 months, kids cry to control you. Makes sense. You cry, they get attention. Forget about what it is. You cry, they get attention. And then somewhere around the 6, 7, 8 months, I'm not sure exactly where it is, you begin to wake up. That kid is controlling me. It cries, I do its bidding. And now the infant has to change. Because that image of their crying and getting no longer working the same way. So change for us is inevitable if we're going to get our needs met. If we continue to behave the way we've always behaved, you're not going to get what you want. But some people persist. I have this image, I don't want to change. You're not 10 months old. You're not 4 years old. You're a person with capacity and understanding. And now understand, if we're going to succeed, you're going to have to change. And now we're back to my shortcut. I've said to you, I don't want to deal with, I think therapy is wonderful. I loved being a psychologist. I loved helping people. I have a million stories I could share with you, things that made me feel good. But we don't need a therapist. What we need is your awareness, the admission of the truth. And the truth is that you have every right to say, I want. Tell me you've gone through any day and never said to yourself or heard that voice inside your head say, I want. Now, don't add or subtract. I want. And here's the problem. Food for many of you has been used as a distraction and comfort. Something is bothering you, you're excited about something, it's raining out and it's this kind of a day, and you feel, based upon that circumstance, here it is, I want. Now forget about filling out the sentence. I want. Pay attention. That's a voice inside of you saying, I want. It's not an outside voice. It's an inside voice. It's your voice. And if you ignore it, then what you're saying is it's irrelevant that you want. And therefore, what are you saying about you? So what do I say? I say, okay, let's deal with it. Because if I take care of me, my life eventually will change. So I'm listening. I want. I want. I want. How does it feel to be ignored? Not good. And all kinds of things happen when you ignore. So the first thing we're going to do is say, okay, you want, I'm going to give you. And that's why I invented what I call the magic protocol. Because you as the adult know, because I've shared it with you, that Tic Tacs are 0 calories. So from a weight loss point of view, they're irrelevant. And what I've said to you, if we agree to use Tic Tacs or something similar, and let's say I've taken 3 Tic Tacs now and I've put them in my mouth, the flavor of the Tic Tacs is going to fill my mouth. Let's stop. I put the Tic Tacs in my mouth. I was in control. I was the boss. I recognized what I was doing. I recognized there's 0 calories. I recognized I was dealing with the I want. Maybe not what the voice said it wants, but I'm conscious. I'm aware. I know what I want. And I'm answering the I want by giving you Tic Tacs. Now, I put them in my mouth. I'm in charge. I'm the voice. I'm in control. Recognize that once I put the Tic Tacs in my mouth, I've gotten rid of my problem. 1, I've handled I want. You want, I give you. Forget about what. The concept is exactly the same. I want, I'm giving you. And now the flavor of the Tic Tacs will contaminate the flavor of any cheat. So if you use the Tic Tacs, you're agreeing that you could possibly give in, have guilt and remorse, and go through the things that we were talking about before, or you can answer the situation. By putting the Tic Tacs in your mouth, you agree you're not perfect, but you stayed on course, because what did you really want? You said, I want to lose weight. Well, if you can't cheat and you stick with the program, how can you possibly not lose weight? You're in control. You're the boss. You're the one giving yourself something, and you add another piece. You say that you're important enough to be taken care of by your conscious self. You're getting up now in the morning with a person that you're happier with, because the person is doing things that make you feel good about you. And since change is inevitable, you're following through, because that is a change. That's a significant change. Now, let's go further. In order to do the program successfully, you have to understand that change means things are going to be different. I haven't told you yet what change is. All we know is you can't continue to behave the way you've been behaving to be successful. So, I'm saying I'm worth it. You want to know something? I am. And so are you. I don't give a darn where you learned that you weren't worth it. And I couldn't care less, because it's done already and I can't change yesterday. But if I can get you to get up in the morning with a person that you're happier with, then I'm fulfilling what makes me feel good. And that's why I'm sitting here. When that woman came in from Vegas and only gained 1.5 pounds, you have no idea how good I felt inside myself. Because I was a part of it. It gave me a reason for doing what it is that I do. And why can't I do the same thing for myself? And why can't you do the same thing for yourself? I didn't say change is going to be easy. It's going to make you uncomfortable. You're used to doing it. And you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and you do it. And when you don't do it, you feel uncomfortable. Why? Well, I always take the subway this way. Now, the goal hasn't changed. I want to lose weight. Okay? Now, you've been doing the things that you have been doing, and the things that you have been doing don't work. And one of the reasons, and you've heard me say this before, that I like Alcoholics Anonymous is because there are a million stories. In fact, there was a TV program. There were a million stories in the Naked City. Now, that story was the person wanted to get to work. They went out of the house, turned left, started walking down the street, tripped, and fell. Brushed themselves off, went off to work. The following day, went down, turned left, tripped again in the same place. Only this time, the pain was a little bit greater, brushed themselves off, and went off to work. And this went on and on and on, with the pain getting stronger and stronger. They got to work, but now the pain was pretty strong. Then one day, they didn't change the goal. They wanted to go to work. They just walked down a different street. And that's all I'm asking you to do. That's what change is. Not changing your goal if that is your goal, if that is what you want, if that's going to make you feel good. You don't need to justify it. But it makes no sense to go through the pain again and again and again, because it also erodes how you feel about yourself. We have an easier way. We have a methodology that works. And you must talk about it. You cannot be silent. I don't know about you, but I talk to me. I don't always like what I hear, but I talk to me. And what I've learned to do is argue with myself. And one of the reasons I argue with myself is because I recognize I'm not perfect. And I often have two divergent opinions. And when I talk about this opinion, there's a part of me that remembers the other opinion. And something interesting happens. I have a fight. I'm trying to convince my other self that they're wrong. And my other self is trying to convince me that I'm wrong. I don't really know which one of us is correct. But I have two opinions. And you want to know something? Both opinions may be valid in different ways. So what I have to do is verbalize what I'm talking about and recognize that sometimes I need to compromise because I don't want it to be something or nothing. That voice said, I want. I didn't give it what it wanted. It wanted something, and I gave it. I said it wanted attention, it wanted love, it wanted caring, and I gave it Tic Tacs. It was thinking about some kind of ice cream cake. I gave it Tic Tacs. It was thinking about ice cream cake. But it made a compromise. It had no choice. Because I handled the I want by giving it the Tic Tacs. We need to talk about this. We need to share about this. We need to interact with this. And we have to accept the fact that it is our fault. One other thing, and then I'm going to move on. I believe that a huge mistake was made in the world around the time of Louis Pasteur. They decided that if they pasteurized milk, we wouldn't get sick. Forget about the merits. Therefore, we had to worry about outside. And what we have now is a system that for us to get sick, and the system will help us get well. I see AccuWeight differently. I see AccuWeight as saying, if I can be healthy on the inside, I don't have to worry about getting well. The reason you're doing this is for you, to take charge and take control of your life. I am not suggesting that there's anything bad about medicine. It's only the thinking that I'm concerned about. I want you to be like the 3 little pigs. I know it sounds silly. I want you to turn this into a brick house, not a straw house. Not you huff and you puff and the house will go down. Part of doing this program is to make yourself healthy, to be able to deal with this insanity that's going on in our lives now. It will pass. But if you learn nothing, you're going to have to deal with it again and again in the same way. And this pandemic has been horrible. This program is healthy. Everybody knows, and they can tell you, that intermittent fasting, which is a component of this program, is extremely healthy. Now, there are people who say, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do that. Don't go there. Most of these people have no idea what they are talking about. There is no one out there who will deny that intermittent fasting, for example, is extremely healthy. Nobody who criticizes you talks about the fact that when you massage the beads, one, Hunger goes away because it impacts on the functioning of your hypothalamus. And two, in the same category, it blocks your brain's ability to count calories. So your body doesn't realize that the calories were taken away. It's not a calorie diet. We use the word diet because that's what people think of. Diet means food. How do I diet? Now, most every program out there forces you to cut calories. And by cutting calories, your body cannibalizes itself and you lose weight. I want you to start taking care of yourself and understand that it's going to take some time, one step at a time. But when you achieve your goal, you will have created an opportunity to build a lifestyle like the woman in Las Vegas did, in part by doing what she did, planning beforehand. A week in Vegas and she gained 1.5 pounds because she stuck to her plan. It was her plan. And she did it for herself. And it did require some change. Now she looks back and she says it was worth it. She didn't say to me that she was worth it. That's yet to come. It's something else I have to teach. It's something else I need you to learn. Now, I want to jump to some questions and see where we are. Pardon me, I'm putting on my glasses. I started my plan mid-December, but stopped after a few days because there were too many holidays and distractions. My beads are still on. I only use them for a few days. Can I still use them? The answer is no, you cannot still use them. And the reason you cannot still use them is the acupressure point is good for 7 to 9 days. And then that point no longer has the power to do what it does to talk to the hypothalamus. Everything else is fine. Her weight will determine new because she's doing the program remotely. Her weight will be entered into the computer. The computer's algorithm will choose the next acupressure point. And the moment she puts the beads on and starts the program properly, off we go. Minimum 15 pounds every 30 days. I drank more than usual over the holidays. Does that mean detox will be harder? No. What you did, you did. This is not a calorie diet. Detox means I'm going to cleanse my body. I'm going to get rid of the poisons. Once you do the detox, it's over. That's what detox is. There are some people who are nervous and they start by doing detox before they start. That's the first thing they do before they do the program. They sign up for 2 weeks detox to test out the program. It's wonderful because they've agreed to change. They've agreed to take responsibility. They forget about calories and whatever. They recognize it's chemical, all natural, and they lose some weight. And then, ooh, it works. And they sign up for the program. Detox means I need a tune-up. That's all it means. Get rid of the poisons, cleanse your body, move on. My friends told me about AccuLife. I wanted to go to an office, but COVID's spreading so fast, I'm nervous. She told me I can have everything shipped to my house and do it at home. How does that work? I'm nervous by putting the beads on myself. Not too long ago, we received a patent from the United States government. We had been unable to do this beforehand because people had the possibility of stealing our methodology, and we were not safe, particularly because there were issues with people simply putting beads on other people and saying this was AccuWeight, and so we couldn't do it. Now you can do the program because the AccuPoint Finder is a simple device that's put behind your ears. The program is exactly what it is coming into the office, except you do it remotely and very simply. Just go online, sign up. It works. It's worked for over 25 years in my lifetime. And if it's worked for 25 years in my lifetime, and it's the same program that I did starting 25 years ago, it'll be worth it for you. I feel nauseous after I take my vitamins every morning. What do you suggest? Well, sometimes some people get nauseous taking something first thing in the morning. So one of the things I suggest is if it's a dairy day, use 2 ounces of milk. If it's a fruit vegetable day, have a fruit with your vitamins. Or I recommend that you take your vitamins later in the day. That's not going to make an issue with your first food. Nothing will have changed. You'll be back in control. The nausea will not be there. I crave salty foods at night. Is there anything I can have? First and foremost, understand that if you crave salt, the odds are very, very strong that you are dehydrated. So I recommend that, number one, put a little salt, lick your tongue, put it in some salt, take some electrolytes, drink some water. There are the bonbons you can make from the Anytime chocolate pudding. Give you something and add a little salt to it. There are many things you can do, and ask your consultant. The key is, if you're taking care of you, and it's what we're talking about. Now, Julie, hi. Debbie, hi. I didn't acknowledge you before because I was into Dr. Schwartz and what he was saying and doing. A healthy, happy, wonderful New Year to all of you. Remember,